Are you alright, mate? Oh, that's a nasty arterial bleed. Where's your tourniquet? Don't have one. Shame. Do you subscribe to me on YouTube? You do? Today's your lucky day. G'day, it's Woody and welcome to another video. It is our first ever video in the new office studio setup, and this is where we're going to be filming a lot of content that does not require me to pull the trigger. Today we're looking at bleed control kits from MyMedEquip. We have actually teamed up with MyMedEquip to select one lucky YouTube viewer the chance to get one of these for absolutely nothing. To find out how to do that, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Now, I am not a medical professional, so anything I say in this video should be taken as general in nature and not as proper training. So make sure if you want to know how to use this stuff, do it well, potentially save a life or even your own life, then you should get trained and get equipped. We're going to head over to the bench, we're going to look at the medium bleed control kit and the large bleed control kit. We're going to unpack them and see what you get in the kit, and let's just have a conversation about some scenarios and why you need each piece of equipment that's included in these kits. Okay, so let's unpack the medium bleed control kit and see what you get. Well, first of all, it comes in this nice operator patch, they call it. It has the bungee cord on the outside, so if you needed to, you can actually stage your tourniquet on the outside of the patch. Mine's on the inside at the moment because I just throw this in and out of backpacks and things like that. It has MOLLE on the back, so you can fasten it to the outside of backpacks that have MOLLE or any other panels that have MOLLE, or even thread your belt loop through it and that sort of thing. Let's go through the kit and what you have. So in a terrible situation or emergency, you're probably going to be going for things like trauma bandages and tourniquets first. There's a lot of talk online about how to stage a tourniquet and that sort of thing, and to have it prepped and set in a way that you could fit it yourself and to yourself one-handed if you needed to. That's a pretty bad day if you do need to do that, but essentially you need to fold the straps so that there's no Velcro touching each other, so when you open it, it just flops open on its own. So this way it's locked together, but if you fold the non-Velcro side first, the windlass retainer, so that's the windlass, the bit you turn to tighten the tourniquet, is in the open position, so that way when you start turning you can slot it into the windlass holder and then put that over. If you've identified a massive hemorrhage and arterial bleed on a limb, you're going to want to fit a tourniquet. To fit a tourniquet, you slide one over the limb that has the arterial bleed, then you pull this Velcro strap tight, and then once that's tight and wrapped back around, you start turning the windlass until the bleeding stops. So a really cool device. You know, arterial bleeds, seconds count. You know, someone can die from arterial bleeds in minutes. So getting one of these on could, you know, it doesn't solve the problem, right? They still need urgent medical care, but this buys you enough time to get them to that urgent medical care in some situations. You have a pressure bandage, which, you know, is as described as a bandage. So that's designed to apply pressure to an open wound and to help with bleeding. Packing gauze. So for a wound that needs packing, this is gauze, and the way it's compressed and put in to this vacuum sealed bag, there's actually a lot of gauze in there. So you start with one end and you start packing, and then it comes out into like a big, essentially like roll of gauze, and then you're just packing it in into the bleeding point as well as you can, putting pressure on the wound to reduce bleeding. Shears, so this allows you to cut clothing, so if someone's wearing bulky clothing or a chest rig or other strapping and that sort of thing, these will cut straight through that. It's often necessary when fitting a tourniquet, or to even identify that a tourniquet is needed, is to strip some clothing off. So if someone's bleeding from the leg, you would just go up the leg to expose the wound, make an assessment, and then fit a tourniquet if needed. Every layer of clothing does reduce the effectiveness of a tourniquet, so often it's necessary to strip some clothing off and do it quickly. The Sharpie is for writing the time, so if you fit a tourniquet, you can write the time on the windlass security strap. That way the next level of treatment and care can make an educated decision on what to do with that patient based on how long the tourniquet's been applied for, etc. But also part of communicating that is writing data on the casualty card. So you can write, again, you can double up and write the time that the tourniquet was applied, where it was applied to, write some, injuries, times. If you applied any medicines, you can write that on there. That can be critical information for the next level of care. Bleed control card, so this is good. So often when, the adrenaline's pumping, you forget the basics of first aid sometimes and bleed control. So just to have a simple, easy to reference process there is good, especially, you might know what you're doing with your kit, but if you have to hand this kit to someone else, they might not know as well as you do. So that's easy steps for them to follow. A chem light, in case you need a bit of illumination. Rarely, dire circumstances rarely happen in the best conditions, so if you're in dark conditions, you can have a little bit of illumination there with a chem light. Gloves, when seconds count, you're probably not putting the gloves on first, you're probably going straight for the tourniquet if needed. But if it's not that type of situation, or if you have, time, then you can apply gloves. Not only keeps your patient safe, but keeps you safe. Thermal blanket, so this is often used to treat, shock and that sort of thing, or if you're stuck in the elements with someone and waiting rescue and that sort of thing, you can apply a thermal emergency blanket, which reflects your heat back into yourself and helps keep you warm. And chest seals, so these are for sucking chest wounds. So if someone suffers a chest wound, the vacuum that's required for your diaphragm to make your lungs expand and contract is compromised, and the chest cavity is sucking in air, and you'll see it and hear it if that is the case. Vented chest seals, so the vent allows the air to be pushed out of the chest cavity but doesn't allow more air in. They're not 1000% perfect, so they might be necessary for you to burp the chest seal by peeling a corner back and letting more air escape. But again, this saves lives and buys time to get your patient to that next level of care. And that is what's in the medium kit. The large kit. So a large kit contains pretty much everything that was in the medium kit plus more. Here's an example of fitting the tourniquet to the outside. This one's using some Molly clip strap with just like a bungee cord to fasten the tourniquet to the outside of the patch. I really like that method. I think that's pretty cool. Again, big Molly panel on the back, so you can fasten it to sort of any Molly panel that you're wearing, or on your backpack or in your vehicle, that sort of thing. Has Velcro on the front. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the small patch, there's enough Velcro there for not only your bleed control label, so your kit's clearly labeled, but if you use name tape and that sort of thing, if you and your buddies have similar equipment, then you can easily distinguish whose is whose. So folds out like that, and pretty much we've duplicated what the medium kit has, plus a couple of extra things. So we got the 2 tourniquets, and I forgot to mention in the other bleed control kit as well, you have the option of the D-Nipro tourniquet, which is a proven tourniquet developed in Ukraine. We all know that their situation and what's going on over there. This is proven, works, and it's strong and reliable. They also have the cat tourniquet available, which is also a good quality option as well, and that's in the bright orange color. So we have the 2 tourniquets. I got one on the outside here and one on the inside. 2 bandages, 2 blankets. I've got the next level up in shears, a bit bigger, so if I'm working on multiple people, bigger, stronger, I can get through clothes quicker. 2 sets of packing gauze, 2 chem lights, 2 sets of gloves, bleed control kit, as well as a major incident report card. So this is more to do with medical professionals and how they're assessing patients and who has priority in terms of like casualty treatment and that sort of thing. Casualty cards with a rubber band, so if you're dealing with multiple injuries and multiple patients, you just got that extra double up there so you can get onto it, and the same bleed control card, quick reference card. That's super handy. And 2 pairs of chest seals. So obviously these come in pairs, right? Because in a scenario like a gunshot wound to the chest, and it goes straight through, there's going to be a front hole and a back hole in your patient, and you need to seal both of those in order to help preserve that breathing in that patient. Well, that is what is included in the bleed control kits from MyMedEquip. Obviously, I'm a firm believer in getting equipped and getting gear and knowing how to use it, but you also need to practice with it, train with it, and know what to do in a situation. So make sure you get trained and educate yourself. We don't plan on having injuries like gunshot wounds. Of course, we exercise extreme care and caution, and we do what we do as safely as possible, but freak accidents do happen, and it might not be gunshot wounds. If you're on a quad bike, you could have a penetrating wound from running into a fence or a tree, or other injuries and that sort of thing. So it is good to be prepared, because we all have people that love us, and it's important to get back to them. And when we're out in the field, getting home safely should be the most important thing. I can't stress enough how important it is to be equipped and prepare yourself. We all hope for the best, but we should plan for the worst, and we should know what to do when a situation occurs, whether it's to help yourself or someone you're with, or even a complete stranger in one of those terrible circumstances. It could mean the difference between them surviving or not. We've teamed up with MyMedEquip to give one of you a medium bleed control kit for absolutely nothing. And all you have to do for the chance to be selected is leave a comment on this video. Easy as that. So leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, like this video, share with people who you think should be more prepared and should be equipped, especially when we're out doing stuff in the bush, shooting guns, or other high risk activities. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.